Hey, here we are with the guys from Lita Ford. How you guys doing? Introduce yourselves.
That's Marten Anderson, the bass player.
Patrick Kennison, vocals and guitar.
Yeah.
So you guys already excited for the M3 festivals to start up here tomorrow?
We are. We've been excited. We've been talking about it forever, it seems like.
Yeah, we're here. We're ready to rock.
Yeah. Happy to get out of California.
Yeah.
Even for a minute.
So, like I said, I know. Obviously, I know you've done a few M3s before. Have you done a?
I have.
Done
Yeah, I've done
M3s?
a couple other bands that I've been in previously.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's good. It's always fun to be here, you know.
Yeah, I just did an interview with Rudy Starzo the other day, and was surprised that this is actually his first M3.
That's crazy
Really?
sounding.
I'm like,
Wow.
he was like, I'm like, are you really? He's like, yeah, it's my first M3, and I'm like, wow, I would have never.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, we look forward to see Rudy tomorrow. So
Yeah.
great player, great, awesome guy, you know.
So what can the fans expect from the show from you guys?
I feel like we're pumped. So with Lita, even before we get on the stage, she brings the energy when we warm up backstage.
Yeah.
She'll change the set on us in the middle of the set in a good way.
Yeah. It's a lot of
So,
fun doing that.
Yeah, it's not going through the motions with Lita. We have to stay on our toes. She'll bust out. She'll say, "Okay, we're doing Out for Blood," or whatever.
Yeah.
Here's Falling Out of Love. Yeah.
You're like, wait, that's not the next on the list.
But I like that about her gig because it doesn't feel like a job that way.
Yeah.
It feels
Keeps you on your toes as a musician too.
We have to look at each other.
Yeah.
Oh shit, she's extending this part. This jam.
And she's like, oh, let's do this again a couple times, you know. She's feeling it, right? She's in the moment.
Yeah,
so,
there's no backing track. There's none of that, stupid bullshit you read about now. It's old school. Well, she'll make songs shorter, longer, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
Oh yeah, that's the good thing about it. When you see bands, they're like in between song, they got to tune their guitar. They're like, yeah, we actually play our instruments. So we have to tune our stuff.
No, we don't tune ours. We just play them out of tune once it goes out of tune.
So did you? With the news of you just joining Lita like last year, how was that like doing that? And how were you approached to join our band?
I'm really good friends with Marty O'Brien, which was a previous bass player for many years, and he had got another opportunity that came up that made a lot of sense for him, and he had suggested me, and I guess a couple other people had suggested me as well. So the manager, George, rest in peace, approached me about it, and I thought it was a really good opportunity, and I'm super happy. Really found a home here, and I love everybody in the band, and it's really good. It's fun. You're having a blast, you know.
Were you? I always ask that, but were you a huge? Obviously, probably was, but were you a huge Lita Ford fan before joining the band?
I think on some level. I mean, we all grew up with Lita, on many levels, But I love playing the Runaway stuff. It's really cool, It's just such a history there, It's like rock and roll royalty,
Oh yeah,
so
for sure.
it's awesome, man. No, it's been great. Can't believe it's pretty much a year. Your birthday.
Yeah.
Because remember, that was like one of the couple first rehearsals we did on your birthday.
It feels like less than 3 months,
Yeah.
which is probably a good sign.
That's exactly a year because we had the cake and everything. Remember?
Yep.
Yeah. And that's, I think that was the second rehearsal or something, first or second.
Yeah, we hit it off with Marten immediately. There was no growing pains or anything. It was like, oh yeah, this is clearly the guy.
Yeah.
So that was it. Yeah.
Big thanks to Marty, the bass player.
Yeah,
He set me up real well, and so that made it really smooth and everything. So it worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. Glad to be here.
And then
man.
also with you've been playing with Lita for a little while now.
Since 2014.
I would say, how did that all come to for you to be joining the band?
I had a band called Union Underground back in the 2000s, and I made friends with somebody who is the CEO and owner of BC Rich Guitars. And he called me one day and said, Lita Ford is looking for a guitar player. And I'd been playing the BC Riches back then. And he goes, man, you're going to be perfect if you take the gig. You'll probably be singing the Ozzy and stuff. And we both laughed. I got the gig and now I sing the Ozzy shit. And me and him laugh about it to this day. And I was friends with Marty also, had played in projects with him, and Marty said, man, there's no question about your guitar playing. He goes, Marty said, if you want the gig, just learn all those harmony vocals because you're a good singer. And so sure enough, I did what Marty said. I learned all the harmonies. And when we were rehearsing, Lita kept stopping and looking at me, and I was like, oh, am I fucking up? It turns out she was excited that I knew all the harmony vocals.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up on Alice in Chains' Dirt. I love harmony vocals just to begin with. So I've always been that harmony singer guy. You know, like the singer sings the lead, and then I sing beneath or above it. And I brought that to Lita, and that's what she liked. So that's it. Yeah.
Well, you were talking a little bit about Union Underground. I was a huge fan of that band. It's like that. So how was it like, doing from that music, which is obviously a lot different than doing the Lita Ford music?
Well, the Union Underground was a stitch in time where it was like that whole new metal scene.
Yep.
The only thing that sucked is there wasn't enough guitar solos, and I love playing guitar solos, whether it's a noisy Tom Morello or a Paul Gilbert shred. I just love guitar. So that was my only complaint about Union Underground. But, that was our band, and we wrote the songs, and we got a major label deal, and we did stuff for a while. So I can't complain about that. But I like with Lita that I get to sing more, and I get to play lead guitar, and it's not just all 7-string tuned down chugga chugga.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
Yeah.
But I like to play above the 12th fret too.
But speaking of Union Underground, like I said, a lot of times when I ask questions too, I'm not a dirt interviewer like that. But I did have a question.
Sure.
Was there a reason why you weren't at the Blue Ridge for the reunion?
The singer and I had a huge falling out when I left the band in like 2003, I think it was. And I owned the name, and I didn't renew the trademark, and he grabbed it, and he went and did his own version of the band. And more power to him. Good for him. I wish he would take it somewhere instead of just playing once every 10 years. But we had a huge, ugly, cliched falling out over money, music, ego, drugs, fights, fists. You name it.
Because I was pumping you guys up at Blue Ridge. I was telling everybody, I was like, the guitar player, he was playing with Lita Ford. The bass player was Duke from Disturbed. And then all of a sudden I'm like,
he went and got a bunch of different people, I guess. But he hasn't seemed to really do much with it. But, that was great that I started the band and it got somewhere. But, man, it was like that one girlfriend you had where you were like, I got to get the fuck out of here.
Brother, how you doing, brother?
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you again, man.
Yes, brother.
I can't wait to see you again.
All right, kick ass.
Tomorrow?
It's on.
I love it.
You got it. Kick ass.
Speaking of girlfriend, I was going to tell you congratulations on getting married.
Thank you. I'm still I'm a newlywed.
Yeah.
Me and my wife were wondering, how long does the word newlywed last? Is it? Somebody said, well, that's 2 years as a newlywed.
I would go 2 years.
Yeah, I would say
Okay, we got a while yet to go then.
I think it's awesome. I always hit up Iron Maidens all the time.
She's the best.
Great
I was
band,
friends with her for years, and I always thought, man, she's just way too hot and talented for me. And then we both ended up single, and the chocolate hit the peanut butter, and it tasted right.
And then speaking of bands, you were playing with Lizzie Borden. I'm a huge Lizzie Borden fan. They played last year. How was that like, playing with someone, especially like, who's iconic and very theatrical?
Yeah, I mean, it was always fun because it was almost, different eras and different phases of your life, right? You think about it in many ways. You almost been a different human in different parts of your life, right? It's almost like a different person, right? Yeah. And at that point, I think it was fun because it was, you're almost like you're putting on a theatrical show. You're putting on a play, really. Everything was, planned out and so it was interesting. I mean, it's funny because it was my first band that came to Hollywood that I got a gig out of, and he gave me a chance. Lizzie gave me a chance when I had nobody. It was my first real gig, so I'm always going to be thankful for that. But we just it just ran its course like any girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever you got, right? That's the same as Union Underground probably.
Absolutely. When something runs its course,
and it's kind of time to move on, and so. But we had some really fun freaking times together. We had a lot of fun.
You have a new project I was looking into. Well, newer, that classical rock.
It's a cool little charity that benefits music education in school and stuff. So it's really, really cool, and we've been doing about 3 concerts with them every year. It's a big concert. We get kids involved in the student orchestra and all that, and we get some good big rock stars involved, and the money goes to charity and stuff. So it's really, really cool. So keep checking. We got a lot more stuff going on with that, but Yeah, no, it's cool.
Do you like that, both sides of that, like mixing
I love
in the
it. I
classical
just,
and the
yeah,
rock?
I do, man. I just, from a musician standpoint, I know Patrick can relate to this too. It's just like, how do you feel playing with this guy? How do you feel? Because the music is so different, but as a musician, it's a challenge. It's fun. They're all fun, right? I
Keeps
mean,
you
all,
on your toes when you do more than one thing.
You put the 7-string on and tune down. That's fun in its own way. And you go play these, and some songs are kind of pop songs, right? With Lita, right? I mean,
sure. And there's an art to that also.
It is
Pop
an art.
doesn't mean easy.
No. Yeah. So it's just, so it's just, everything is, as a musician, you just got to see yourself as blessed as being able to do this, I think. It's just, I always say I'm no millionaire, but I get to do my hobby for a living.
Yeah.
Right?
But you're a killer hundredaire.
Yeah. I got a lot of singles.
Yeah. Make it rain.
Yeah.
That's what you were saying, like, about it being pop music, the pop music now versus the pop music from the 70s and the 80s, and, really, it's so much different then, because now it's all kind of studio made. People aren't real, and so like
lot of program
stuff. But like you look at pop, like now, like bands like Michael Jackson and Madonna at that time,
you had
and all
to sing
that.
for real.
Those guys, were real musicians they had on stage.
Right.
Now it's like you were saying, everything's all pop world now. It's most backtracked, and
they captured back in the day. Now they have to create, or Frankenstein. Something.
I mean, you played the songs from the beginning to end. I mean, we all done sessions. We come in and you play a verse and a pre-chorus and a chorus, and they're like, "Oh, that's good. We're just gonna copy and paste the rest in, right?"
Yeah.
And then it's like you go, "What?" It's like, you're done in like 5 minutes, But so no, there's some old school shit in there too, which is fun, So it's all good, man. We're just lucky, and we're sitting here and looking at this beautiful lake and everything, and it's just awesome, Just thankful for what
my
we
buddy,
got going.
my buddy who is in one of the bigger touring metal bands said, "Do you realize that we're in the less than 1%?" I said, "What does that mean?" He says, "Less than 1% of musicians make a living with music." And it really puts it into perspective when you think about that.
Yeah.
Like, we pay our bills and live our lives with proceeds from performing music and writing and recording and releasing music.
Yeah. Well, because I've talked, because you guys do with the Union, you've done the Ozfest and stuff like that. I've talked to bands before that did that, and they're like, unless you're like the headliners, you weren't really making that much money on Ozfest. You were making enough to get something to eat that day and
it opened up
and
other opportunities like the WWE for Union Underground and stuff like this, publishing companies giving you huge checks. If you're connected with that kind of thing with the label, which we were, it does go to that. And I was like, the whole time I was like, pinch me, is this real?
Yeah, because like a lot of times with most of those, everybody thinks these bands are all multi-millionaires, and like, unless you're like the Metallicas of the world, those are the bands who are getting paid.
The ladder is very tall, very long.
Yep.
Do you remember that first show you went out and did the Ozfest? There's a lot of people. Was that your biggest show?
Crazy. Our biggest show was Ozfest UK. We played at 10:30 in the morning, and I told the guys, I said, "No one's gonna be here. It's 10:30 in the morning. Who are we?"
Yeah.
Dude, it was a sea of people. Yeah. We were like, whoa, we were flabbergasted.
Yeah.
I remember playing Bakken the first time. It was with Lizzie, and it was the first time I had really played any of those big kind of shows. And I remember coming out on stage, and I put my arm up like this. You guys can't see this on the tape, obviously, but and I remember 15,000 people. It was like 40,000 people, but 15,000 people put their arms up. And I'm going, holy shit. And it's like a religious experience. Like, this is the moment that I practice all these 8 hours a day for,
You're like a musical Martin Luther King for a minute. You say something and people are like, wow.
You tell everybody to go this way, they'll go that way.
It's power.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, but the connection between you and the people and the smiles that they put on their faces and stuff. It's pretty amazing stuff. So,
that's my biggest thing right now is I want to go to Walk and I want to see that experience, because I've done the festivals, here where you get a few thousand people, but I want to see those where you can't even see the beginning to the end of how many people
are
surreal.
There. It's totally surreal.
Yeah, it's fun stuff, but it's very religious, almost spiritual experience, right? Anyway, but it's all good, man.
And then you also have another project, Heaven Below. Can you talk a little bit about that?
That's my original band that I have with my wife, Nikki. We've been around for a while. We have a brand new album coming out. We have a few things to our name that have had some varying degrees of success, but we have an original album we've been putting together. But between the Lita Ford and the Iron Maiden shows, we can't get it out as fast as we want. but we're almost done with it. And Nikki also has her second solo release that I produced with her, and it's a full length, and we're getting ready to do that. And the coolest thing about all this is, instead of some label owning stuff and giving you in advance, we actually make all the money. And even though we might not be able to, chart at the top of Apple Music or Spotify, it's pretty cool when you release your stuff and the money you get is all yours.
Yeah.
And I told Nikki when she started doing the solo stuff, I said, wow, you just made several months worth of gig pay from releasing an album, and it's all yours. On a major label, I had to wait 6 months to a year, and they all take their cut before you get the money, even though you get other opportunities with that. And so there's pride with that. It's like opening your own business.
Yeah.
But you also get to, you don't have a label executive telling you what songs you can have on, or this is not, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's
you want to put an accordion solo, put an accordion solo. I don't know if anybody will like it.
Flute,
I don't know if anybody will like it, but
Jeff Tall or something. Maybe
no,
win a
you
Grammy
feel the
or
responsibility.
something.
You're like, oh no, this is on me. If this sucks, it's on me. But if this is kick ass, that's on me too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Speaking of that, so a question I always ask everybody, it's kind of a loaded, hard question. It's going to be kind of a two-parter for each one of you, since you guys have been in separate bands. You can take, civilization hundreds of years later, find a time capsule and they pick out a song. What song would you want from Lita Ford, and what song would you want from one of your projects that you've done?
Good question. What do you got? Your time capsule songs.
Time capsule, Jesus.
Give it to him.
I think it's more of the, the classic stuff that you always hear about, Stairway to Heaven and all, cool stuff like that. But Lita, I don't know, there's so much stuff there, someone told me before, years ago, they go, the Earth went under and some aliens came here and they saw like a kiss coffin. They're going to think that those are the gods, right?
Well, they are the gods.
They are the gods. But, news history tends to screw things up a little bit. But, they are the gods. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, I don't know. That's such a hard question, man. It's just, I'm very proud of some of the work that I did with Lizzie and co-wrote some of the stuff. So I'm very happy about that. The Appointment with Death record, I think, was a really good record, and I co-wrote 6 or 7 songs. And that's truly the first record that I ever was part of writing.
What's your favorite? Give us your favorite song off that one for the time capsule.
Shit. I'll give you There Will Be Blood Tonight, because off the Deal with the Devil album. Yeah. That was a good, if you're looking for something Lizzie related, because I love the bass line I came up with and everything else. So that would one. But I think I'll leave it at that.
You don't have a Lita one?
Oh, Lita. Wow. I think it all depends what day you're asking me, but is it the biggest hit that she ever had?
No, it's for you.
Yeah, it's just
but that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one, but Can't Catch Me is a pretty good one. I like playing that. That's a good song, man. She co-wrote that with Lemmy.
Yeah.
So I always try to channel a little Lemmy in there, playing the bar chords and distorted stuff, But there's just so much stuff in there. Her catalog is so big, and I believe yesterday was 40 years of the release of
For Blood.
Yeah. So it's 40 years, man. That's a long time, So.
Okay. All right. So those are your picks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the other way. I'm easy. I'm not gonna pick a Union Underground song. I'm gonna pick a Heaven Below song we have called When Daylight Dies. It's had several million streams. It got on national radio without management, without label, without payola. And that tells me that song is a testament to you can actually do it without, Daddy Warbucks cash, writing a check. So that would be my time capsule song for me, would be When Daylight Dies. For Lita, it's real easy. It would be Close My Eyes Forever, because there's no such thing as a perfect song. There's no such thing as a perfect ballad. But god damn, that one comes pretty fucking close. And it's not just because she has me sing the Ozzy part. That's a bonus, of course. But I remember hearing that song when I was a kid in the 80s and going, whoa, this is on par with Judas Priest, Beyond the Realms of Death, or whatever, like your favorite, Def Leppard, Foolin' off Pyromania. Or it's in that category. So that would be the Lita song. Yeah, not just because Ozzy, but because Ozzy did such a great job on it too.
Yeah. It's such an iconic and just a good song.
You could play it for anybody from anywhere. They don't even have to speak English, and they'd be like, oh wow, listen to that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, music is weird. It's like art, right? It's just such a personal preference.
Yeah, there's no such thing as perfect.
Yeah.
It's just energy.
Yeah. It's just what you feel when you see it or hear it or whatever you may call art for yourself. So.
And then, I always ask too, like with all these bands kind of reuniting or some of them doing the farewell tours, is there any band that's still around right now that you would like to see reunite? Or is there a band out there that you think that should probably call it ropes and call it a farewell tour?
I'm gonna go ahead and address the pink elephant. The pink elephant in the room? Is it a white elephant? What color is the elephant?
Some kind of elephant.
I can't do Motley Crue without Mick Mars.
Yeah.
I was already struggling with Vince's performance. He was challenging me to listen to him. And when Mick Mars left, the OG, the Clint Eastwood of the band, the only guy to never be on TMZ, I'm out. I'm out for the Crue. But you know what? Who am I? Who the fuck am I? They go for another 20 years. I don't care.
Yeah.
So they need to call that, in my opinion, only.
What about a reuniting band? Is there a band that's probably that couldn't? Because I know, like, with a lot of the genre, with us being older guys, a lot of those guys are no longer with us. But with a band that actually
could get back
together if possible.
Yeah.
I think they should get KK back somehow and in Priest.
What he said. Yeah. I think KK Downing needs to be back in Priest. I understand there's a lot of problems within that marriage, as we've all had in bands. But Glenn, we don't know how long he'll be with us. Him and KK need to at least don't British people drink tea and then shake hands?
Something like that.
I think Richie and him would be perfect.
Richie and KK would be perfect.
Yeah.
That would be the best reunion, and we could all die happy.
It is. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, anything else you guys want to say before I let you go?
Just thanks for having us.
Yeah,
We're happy to be out here.
Yeah, no, keep checking all the tour dates and websites and everything of us and LitaFordOnline.com.
Yeah, well, yours is Marten Anderson.
It's just Marten.cc actually. Yeah, it's one of those domain names that came up and then never. Just keep checking. We'll post and we'll keep in touch with everybody. And
I'm at heavenbelow.com, and of course you can find us both at LitaFordOnline.com.
Yeah.
And we're just thankful to be part of the less than 1% of people making a living creating music. And we don't do it for money, but man, it sure makes it easier to make more music when you do get paid for it.
Yeah.
Sure. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Thanks, man.
Oh, yeah.